कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, O gods, may we hear with our ears what is auspicious. O ye adorable ones, may we see with our eyes what is auspicious. May we sing praises to ye and enjoy with strong limbs and body the life allotted to us by the gods. Om, peace, peace, peace. Jananim Saradam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagatgurum Padapadme Tayoshritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. Taking shelter at the feet of Sarada Devi, the Universal Mother, and Sri Ramakrishna, the teacher of the world, I salute them again and again. Everyone must work in the universe. Only those who are perfectly satisfied with the self, capital Self, whose desires do not go beyond the self, whose mind never strays out of the self, to whom the self is all in all, only those do not work. The rest must work. Good morning, everyone. You must be wondering, what did you just say, Swami? Well, this is the truth. As long as we are not satisfied within us, with our own self, we are bound to work because we are unsatisfied. And we have to live. Welcome to Ramakrishna Monastery. The topic today is make work a spiritual practice. I hope you had a beautiful Christmas with family and got the chance to contemplate on the meaning of Christ and His nativity. Oh, we have a baby today. Today is also a very special day. For those who know, who follow our tradition, today is Holy Mother's birthday. Holy Mother is Sri Ramakrishna's spiritual consort. And he is our Sangha Jananim, the mother of our monastic order. She means a lot to us. And I wanted to honor her with this topic today, since she is the manifestation of this teaching. Work as a spiritual practice is the embodiment. The concept of work is not just the work, our job. Life as work, because we are all working as we live. Didn't you know that? Because we cannot stop living. Life is work itself. How to make work a spiritual practice, and if we consider work to be life itself, the topic today could be summarized in how to spiritualize our lives. I'm going to touch a very important topic today, and I really need your attention and your patience. I'm going to be quoting from Swami Dhyanayogananda's teachings. But if we understand this, we will definitely be walking out of this place with a secret in our hands. We see that the whole universe is working. For what? For salvation, for liberty, from the atom to the highest being, working for the end, for the one end, liberty for the mind, liberty for the body, liberty for the spirit. All things are always trying to get freedom, flying away from bondage. All things are always trying to get freedom. Look at nature, look at us, our lives. Every day we are trying to express the best of ourselves. We try to be free, not be judged. We are always trying to get freedom, flying away from bondage. The sun, the moon, the earth, the planets are all trying to fly away from bondage. A vast mass of energy may be spent in vain if we do not know how to utilize this. A vast mass of energy may be spent in vain if we do not understand how this works. We need to learn how best utilize all the workings of this world. Work is inevitable. It must be so, but we should work for the highest purpose. This world is a world of 5 minutes. Think about it. Your whole life just passed by like, boom. So many years. And those who are young, just wait. The world is a world of 5 minutes. That it is something we have to pass through. And that freedom is not here, but is only to be found beyond. To find a way out of the bondages of the world, we have to go through it slowly and surely. What is the secret? Work incessantly, but give up all attachment to work. For many of you, you might have heard this so many times. You must be thinking, oh, Swami, again, attachment. We heard that so many times. We read about it. Wait. Let us think about it. What is attachment? To find a way out of the bondages of the world, we have to go through it slowly and surely. What is the secret? Work, live, incessantly, live. Allow yourselves to live. But give up all attachment. How do we do that? I'm going to quote a few verses from the Bhagavad Gita to base this talk, to have a foundation. To work, we have the right, but not to the fruit thereof. In Sanskrit, karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phalahetur bhuhu ma te sangostva karmani. You have the right to work only, but never to the fruits thereof. Now this is wisdom. We have the right to live, but nothing truly belongs to us. What do? We want to possess. We want to call it mine only. And that's the problem. We have the right to live, but nothing really belongs to us. Let's discuss this. Be not the producer of the fruits of your actions. Neither let your attachment be towards inaction. Sometimes we can think or feel like, well, it is useless. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to let the years go by and just wait. We have to live. We have to work. Do not identify yourself with anything. Do not identify yourself with anything. Hold your mind free. All these that you see, the pains and the miseries, are but the necessary conditions of this world. Poverty and wealth and happiness are but momentary. They do not belong to our real nature. Our nature is far beyond misery and happiness, beyond every object of the senses, beyond the imagination, and yet we must go on working all the time. Misery comes through attachment, not through work. As soon as we identify ourselves with the work we do, we feel miserable. But if we do not identify ourselves with it, we do not feel that misery. If a beautiful picture belonging to another is burned, a man does not generally become miserable. But when his own picture is burned, how miserable he feels. Why? Both were beautiful pictures, perhaps copy of the same original, but in one case very much more misery is felt than in the other. It is because in one case he identifies himself with the picture and not in the other. Are you following me? This I and mine causes the whole misery. And you need to understand this. I know this is hard to detach ourselves from this idea or identity, the I and mine, but just listen. If you are able to understand this, then slowly we can put this into practice. With the sense of possession comes selfishness, and selfishness brings on misery. With the sense of possession comes selfishness, and selfishness brings on misery. Every act of selfishness or thought of selfishness make us attached to something, and immediately we are made slaves. Oof. Every act of selfishness or thought of selfishness makes us attached to something, and immediately we are made slaves. Each wave in the mind that says I and mine immediately puts a chain round us and makes us slaves. I know it's super hard. And the more we say I and mine, the more slavery grows and the more misery increases. Enjoy the beauty of all the pictures in the world, but not to identify yourself with any of them. Never say mine. Whenever we say a thing is mine, misery will immediately come. Do not even say my child in your mind. Possess the child, but do not say mine. If you do, then will come the misery. Do not say my house, do not say my body. The whole difficulty is there. The body is neither yours, nor mine, nor anybody's. These bodies are coming and going by the laws of nature. But we are free, standing as witnesses. The moment we identify with these bodies, we become slaves. I know it's so natural for us to feel, oh, I am this. I look like this or I look like that. But no, you are no bodies. This is pure Vedanta. You can watch Sarva Priyananda's lectures. This is the bottom line. This body is no more free than a picture or a wall. Why should we be attached so much to a body? Do not project that tentacle of selfishness. I must possess it. As soon as that is projected, misery will begin. Is it clear? The I and mine. The mamakara, aham, I am. And this is mine. Now, let's try to understand that what the scriptures are trying to tell us is that nothing truly belongs to us. But at the same time, we are here to enjoy. Interesting. Now, having said all this, let us talk about work. Make work a spiritual practice. What is work? Work in Sanskrit is karma. The word karma is derived from the Sanskrit root kri, to do. All action is karma. All action. The word karma also means the effect of actions. In connection with metaphysics, it sometimes means the effects of which our past actions were the causes. But when we refer to karma as a means to stay connected with oneself, or yoga, the meaning of karma is work. In the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, we find the whole teaching of the secret of work. In chapter number 3, verse number 30th. Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya adhyatma chetasa nirashi nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigatashvaraha. The meaning is renouncing all actions to me, with mind centered on the self, getting rid of hope and selfishness, live, fight free from mental fever. I will say this again, renouncing all actions to me. We will explain this word by word, so be patient. Renouncing all actions to me with mind centered on the self, your real nature, your divine nature. Getting rid of hope and selfishness, fight free from mental fever. Fight because the context is a war. I would say live. Enjoy your life free of mental fever. This is a very important verse or shloka of the entire Bhagavad Gita, in which Krishna presents 5 principles. 5 principles of parts of this yoga. Here we find the secret of how to live this life and how to enjoy this life. You ready? Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya adhyatma chetasa. Adhyatma chetasa means being aware of our real nature. divine nature, the self, the Atman, the spirit, who we truly are, our divinity, we should strive to make our life meaningful and aspire for the ultimate goal of life, the manifestation of our own divinity, to express our own divinity, to live our lives not as human beings, but as divine beings. See clear? Being aware of our own divinity, we should make it a point to live this life from that standpoint. Not as selfish beings, but as divine beings. This kind of purpose leads to a sense of freedom, which is the ultimate goal prescribed in our scriptures. Freedom, moksha, for those who know a little Sanskrit. We always have to keep in mind our ultimate goal of life, becoming a spiritual human being. Being and becoming. In order to achieve that, our priority should be to commit to our spiritual practice. We have to clean ourselves. We have to keep ourselves inspired in a remembrance of who we truly are. Otherwise we forget, we get distracted, we get attached. It will come. So that we can manifest our divinity in every single second of our human existence. Adhyatma cetasa means being aware of our divine nature. I would like to quote Holy Mother Sri Sarada Devi. Disciple, what is the aim of life? Holy Mother, to realize God, which means to make God a reality in our lives. And I will explain what God is today. To realize God and remain immersed in His contemplation. That is the aim of life. And remain immersed in His contemplation. You are His own. He takes care of your spiritual welfare, both here and hereafter. What then is there for you to worry about? Says Holy Mother, Sri Sarada Devi. Now see the language. See the devotional language, this dualistic language that she uses. Let's try to understand this. The second part or principle of this verse, Mayi sarvani karmani sannyasa. We are all invited to offer all our actions an offering to the Lord. Whether it is a small or big action, sacred or secular action, dedicate all your actions throughout the day and throughout your life to God. We have to convert all actions, our karma, our work, into a worship by dedicating them as an offering to the Lord. We understand this. We think, yes, okay. What does it mean? Okay, it's coming. What do we mean by dedication to the Lord? How do we do that? By dedication, what we mean is invoking the relationship between you and God while performing any karma, while living. invoking the relationship between you and God while performing any karma. This we will understand only if we remember and understand the concept of God. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, God laughs on two occasions. He laughs when the physician says to the patient's mother, "Don't be afraid, mother. I shall certainly cure your boy." God laughs, saying to himself, "I am going to take his life." And this man says, "He will save him?" God laughs again when two brothers divide their land with a string, saying to each other, "This side is mine and that side is yours." He laughs and says to himself, "The whole universe belongs to me. The whole universe belongs to me. But they say they own this portion or that portion." It's a little sharp. The more we accept this truth, the more harmony we experience in our lives. What is this truth? According to our scriptures, the Lord is the invisible propeller of all actions. He is the true owner of everything in this universe. He is ever present therein. He is undying and eternally active and infinitely watchful. When the whole universe sleeps, he sleeps not. He is working incessantly. All the changes and manifestations of the world are his. Referring to this attitude towards God, which is inevitable, Holy Mother says, "The Master will be your protector." It will be a heinous sin on the part of the Master if he does not protect those who have taken shelter at his feet. Now, who is the Master? She refers to God, who have taken refuge in him, renouncing all, and who want to lead a good life. You must live in a spirit of self-surrender to him. Let him do good to you if he so desires, or let him drown you if that be his will. But you are to do only what is righteous, and that also according to the power he has given you. Is the value of a thing to be gauged by its price? It is the love and devotion with which a thing is offered that really counts. This she refers to when you offer something to the shrine or to the Lord. Symbolically, you offer some sweets. For example, in India, it's very common to offer food to God, right? It's not about the price, how you measure this, the value. It's about your attitude that really counts. But let's try to understand this a bit deeper. Let's go deeper into the concept of God. God is not a person sitting beyond the clouds. God is defined as the invisible, all-pervading, intelligent principle in the universe, pervading all the laws, the cosmic network of laws, which maintains the creation in rhythm, and harmony. Again, God is not a person sitting beyond the clouds. God is defined as the invisible, all-pervading, intelligent principle. Do you follow me? You can give him the name or the shape you want. This is the truth, pervading, the all-pervading intelligent principle in the universe, pervading all the laws, the cosmic network of laws which maintains the creation in harmony. These infinite numbers of laws that work perfectly both at the macro and the microcosmic level as one organism. This infinite number of laws that work perfectly both at the macro and microcosmic level as one organism. This law is called the law of karma. Vivekananda says, in addition to the meaning of work, we have stated that psychologically the word karma also implies causation. Any work, any action, any thought that produces an effect is called karma. Thus, the law of karma means the law of causation, of inevitable cause and sequence. Wheresoever there is a cause, there is an effect. There an effect must be produced. This necessity cannot be resisted. This necessity cannot be resisted. And this law of karma, according to our philosophy, is true throughout the whole universe. Whatever we see or feel or do, whatever action there is anywhere in the universe, while being the effect of past work, on the one hand, becomes, on the other hand, a cause in its turn and produces its own effect. Is it clear? Oof, I know, be patient. It will become clearer in a minute. It is necessary, together with this, to consider what is meant by the word law. By law is meant the tendency of a series to repeat itself. When we see one event followed by another, or sometimes happening simultaneously with another, we expect this sequence or coexistence to recur. That's law. It repeats itself. And we expect that. That's the law. Nothing we can do. This law of karma includes not only the physical laws, but also the moral laws. In Sanskrit we call dharma, moral laws. These special laws govern the actions of an individual physically and mentally. Now, this includes all of us. These laws applies to all of us, physically and mentally. Whatever we do, whatever action we do, with our body and with our mind, whatever thought we throw out there, it's a cause for something else. These cosmic laws are invisible. We cannot see them, but they are all pervading. So whenever we perform an action, karma in the world, it will produce a reaction. Its result is called the fruit of karma. In Sanskrit, karma phalam. And this is determined, again, by the law of karma. Now, we are always advised to use our emotional constitution, because as human beings, we are emotional beings. You know that very well. We are advised in our spiritual life, all the teachers tell us, use your emotional constitution. to have a relationship with God, with the Lord. To have a relationship with what? With the law. As simple as that. For those who don't feel very comfortable with the concept of God or the Lord, or not comfortable with this dualistic language, know that there is a law. We can't get away with it. And that law is God. That law is the Lord. The Lord is the law itself. The Lord is the law itself. But instead of saying the law of karma gives us the result, the scriptures and our spiritual teachers recommend not to say the law of karma gives us the fruit. The laws are the laws are presided over by a cosmic intelligent principle. The laws are presided over by a cosmic intelligent principle. Therefore, instead of saying the laws, we are advised to say the Lord or God. How about that? Remember Holy Mother's language? Therefore, who is going to give us the result for every action? The Lord. You can call it Jesus, you can call it Krishna, you can call it Buddha, Ramakrishna, whoever you want. Virgin Mary, Holy Mother, anyone you consider to be the highest thought possible by your human mind. Anyone can represent this highest law or principle. Sit, Swami, sit down. There is a doer-giver relationship here. There is a doer-giver relationship. You do, somebody gives you. You do, you receive. This relationship is activated, is called upon when we get involved in actions, physically or mentally. We keep on doing actions and the Lord keeps on giving us results. We generally ignore this fact of life. We don't think about it. We have to invoke this doer-giver relationship existing between God and us. If we are aware of this truth, it means we can be constantly aware of this doer-giver relationship. We have to invoke this relationship between us and God. That's what it means to have a relationship with God. The ultimate law. Let the end and the means be joined into one. When you are doing any work, do not think of anything beyond. Do it as worship, as the highest worship, and devote your whole life to it for the time being with your whole attention. Anything you do. The third teaching or principle of this verse, Nirashi Bhutva. Asihi means wish, desire, or expectation. When we use desire, it's harder, because we keep desiring things. Let's call it what we expect. We expect things to happen according to our own liking. They are our desires, after all, but let's just call them expectations. It feels better. Expectations with regards to future. Expectation with regards to the fruit of our actions. Expectations are natural to our human constitution. Plans are based on expectations. Anything we plan. You can plan your afternoon based on the fact that I will be finishing around noon, and looking at the clock here, I don't think I'll make it. But you are expecting that. Therefore you can plan. But I just told you I don't think I'll make it. So what do? Recalculating would say your GPS. All our planning is based on expectations. Therefore, expectations are good and useful during the planning process or phase. But once the planning phase is over, we should set aside all our expectations. Once the planning is over, put aside all your expectations. Why? We should never keep any expectation in the mind while doing. Imagine you doing something, any work, and you are like, time is set. I need to do this, I need to do that. I'm not done yet. It should be finished by noon. We should never keep any expectation in the mind while doing. This is a secret. We shouldn't dwell on any expectation. Dwelling on expectations brings about certain disadvantages. What are they? The mind worries, and as a result is not in the present moment for the task at hand. If you keep on watching your watch, concerning about the time when I'll be done, you simply don't listen. Are you listening? Hope is not the case right now. Therefore, dwelling on expectations makes the preoccupied mind lose efficiency. A perfect recipe for the wrong result. It's not my fault. It's all us. Expectations are obstacles during the execution of the plan, but not while planning. They are necessary. They are natural. What I'm saying is, it's okay to desire, but watch out. Don't put your desires in between while doing. Don't put your expectations. That will do you harm. It will make you attach. Don't think of the result, but take care of the means. Where is my attention? And the result will take care of itself. Let me quote Holy Mother to honor her in her birthday. We think that we have helped some man and expect him to thank us. And because he does not, unhappiness comes to us. Why should we expect anything in return for what we do? Be grateful to the man you help. Think of him as God. Is it not a great privilege to be allowed to worship God by helping our fellow men? If we were really unattached, we should escape all this pain of vain expectation and could cheerfully do good work in the world. Never will unhappiness or misery come through work done without attachment. Where does attachment come from? From our expectation. The world will go on with its happiness and misery through eternity. The second disadvantage of keeping expectations in the mind is that we are looking at the world and people through the glasses of our expectations. And that begets frustration. We tend to judge. Eventually, we will develop a negative attitude towards everything, a pessimistic and cynical attitude. We will eventually conclude that everyone is selfish because whatever we wanted, expected from that particular person, we did not get. After calculating our wants and expectations, our judgment will be like, everyone is so selfish and ungrateful. We have done so much for them. And then, of course, we become, some people love this, the victim. I've done so much for you. We develop a negative attitude, and then we expect that attitude, we extend that attitude towards the law, towards God. And that's where the problem comes. Everything turns into a vicious cycle. We even go far enough to judge God. He's so unfair, he's so unjust. And some people may say, why not? God doesn't exist. But there is a law. We cannot deny it. Therefore, we should not live on expectations. If we do that, we will be living in a private and narrow world. Listen, we will be living in a private and narrow world. And we don't want that. It's very miserable. We feel miserable. It happens. It happens to us. But just be on the alert. Nirashihi nirmamaha. The next teaching or principle of this verse. Nirmamaha means without claiming ownership with regard to anything in creation. I said this at the beginning. Without claiming ownership. My phone, my car, it becomes so natural in us. My children, my husband, my wife. In one word, one should desire of God desirelessness, says Holy Mother. In one word, one should desire of God desirelessness. For desire alone is at the root of all suffering. It is the cause of repeated birth and death. It is the obstacle in the way of liberation. The body means the existence of desire. Otherwise, it would not have existed. It all ends when one no longer has any desires. Let's think about it. We are here in these bodies because we owned something. We owned some expectation. We had some desire. And we made ourselves a body. What happens when we join the universe? When we let go? It will come at the end. A disciple asked if all men can get rid of desires. Mother replied, how can they? If they could, then the creation would come to an end. So never mind, unless you are concerned about it. It's absolutely natural. But this is the secret. If you want to lead a peaceful and more harmonious life, you should be aware of this. People with desires are born again and again, says Holy Mother. It is essential that one should work. It is through work alone that one may break asunder the bonds of karma. Only then is one free from desires. Kind of work is what I'm telling you about. Knowing the law, having the right attitude, you can work, you can live. No problem. One shouldn't be without work even for a single moment. Disciple, how does one get the vision of God? Mother, it is only through His grace. But one must practice meditation and repeat His name to constantly dwell in that reality. This removes the impurities of the mind. One must practice spiritual disciplines such as worship and so forth. As one gets the fragrance of a flower by handling it, or as one gets the smell of the sandalwood. For those who are from India, you know that we offer perfume through the sandalwood. We rub the sandalwood on against the stone, and the paste, we offer the paste. And it's the fragrance so delicious. I mean, it's impossible not to, withdraw yourself from that experience. As one gets the fragrance of the flower by handling it, or as one gets the smell of the sandalwood by rubbing it against the stone, in the same way one gets a spiritual awakening by constantly thinking of God. But you can realize Him right now if you become desireless. Everything is due to desire. What bondage is there for a man who has no desire? You see, I live with all these things, she says, but I do not feel any attachment. Don't misunderstand. Desireless means not to be attached, not to be the owner of things, not to own anything, not to possess and feel you are the possessor of things. You see, I live with all these things. I do not feel any attachment, not in the least. What is that desire, my dear friends? She refers to our living with expectations. That is the desire, that is the chain that binds us. You see it? According to the scriptures, the entire creation belongs to the Lord. Remember, not someone sitting above the clouds, but the cosmic, intelligent, all-pervading, invisible principle, the entire creation, the micro, the macro, the total belongs to the Lord. I, as an individual, I cannot claim or own anything. Legally, for the sake of convenience, we can own an apartment, we can own our car, our Tesla, our house. Ownership is only for the sake of transactions in this world. Once we are gone, we don't take anything with us. Clearly, I'm experiencing this in my life right now. I am not the owner of anything. I am the one who uses a few things, which are gifts from the Lord based on the law of karma. We should never try to cling to anything, for it can be snatched away at any time, including our closest and most valuable thing or possession, which is our bodies. Is it clear? If we understand this, we can draw a smile on our faces, and really, God takes our lives without giving advance notice, without making any appointment. And that is based on the law of karma. If we remember this, then only we can have detachment. Nirmamaha means always remember we don't own anything, and as individuals we don't have control over anything, including our own body. You can make it a point to eat healthy, to exercise as much as you can. All of a sudden, what happens? I tried. If everything is decided by the law, by the Lord, by God, then should we then turn fatalistic, that all events are predetermined? We should not think that way, for we all have the free will to change our present. If we start centering our life in the whole and not in just ourselves, our bodies, then we will start leading a life of contribution. This is the line of thought. We are not individuals. We are a whole. We contribute our share to the totality. We offer ourselves to the law. We offer our lives to God. I don't have any control over the result of my actions, but I have control over my attitude. My will is present and determined. Without claiming ownership, we should keep contributing to the world. In contribution, you give your best without expectations. Now the fifth principle, and we are coming to an end. Vigata Jwaraha. He says, Krishna says, Vigata Jwaraha, which means, Jwaraha means fever. For those who know Hindi a little bit. Whoever has come here, whoever is my son, is already redeemed, says Holy Mother. Destiny dare not throw my children into hell. Free yourself from all anxiety by entrusting your future to me. And remember this always, that there is no one behind you who will come to you at the right moment and lead you to the everlasting domain. And remember this always, that there is one behind you who will come to you at the right moment and lead you to the everlasting domain. In this line, Krishna refers to mental fever. Mental fever is the anxiety over the results of the action, of our actions. Anxiety is very natural in all of us. In fact, it's kind of like on fashion. Everybody has suffering this anxiety. What do? We take pills. That is natural. But we are advised here to reduce this anxiety, for it affects our efficiency. Actually, if you follow all these steps we've been working on, this will take care of itself. There will be no anxiety at all. There are no expectations. You offer everything to the Lord. Nothing belongs to you. You remember who you are, a divine being living in a human body. Boom. Why should you be anxious? You live in what? In acceptance. Actually, if you follow these 4 principles properly, anxiety will take care of itself. How can we lead? How can we deal with this anxiety? We can neutralize this through prayer also. Not just any prayer, but the right type of prayer. Generally, the prayer is, "Oh God, give me success." Right? This is not the right type of prayer. For I will not get what I pray for. Guess what I'm gonna get? The Lord won't give me what I desire. He will give me what I deserve. Oof. No complaints. Based on what? In God's eyes, there is neither success nor failure. Success and failure only exist in our private life, in our own judgments of the results. It is our subjective interpretation. Objectively, there is nothing called success and failure for the law. If at all I have to pray, I should say, "Oh Lord, give me courage. Give me strength. Give me love and compassion. May I be an instrument of your love and peace." Courage and strength. "Oh Lord, I am confident, I am strong, I am willing to accept your will, the fruits of my actions, cheerfully according to your law." This requires courage, for sometimes life is hard, and you know that. The real success is to be able to be strong, courageous, and brave. There will be no place for anxiety if I develop that courage. This is mental strength. The courage to accept and move forward. Once I have done my best, once I have offered my best, the best of my attention, my concentration in anything I do, That's the secret for success. There will be a natural acceptance with regards to results. You will feel light and free. Before the result comes, it is courage. The courage becomes a strength after the experience of the fruit of actions. There is acceptance and surrender. The result of this lifestyle, my friends, an attitude towards life, will give us tranquility. And tranquility is all we want. Peace, inner peace, zero anxiety, and a positive outlook on life. This equanimity, this tranquility, this peace of mind is the result of this yoga. It's called Sri Krishna's yoga. Boom. Also it's called karma yoga. God is one's very own. It is the eternal relationship. God is one's very own. It is the eternal relationship. He is everyone's own. One realizes Him in proportion to the intensity of one's feelings for Him. Holy Mother Sisara Devi. Now I know Him is the law, and it's quite abstract and cold. But what if we use our emotions and relate to that God, and we give Him a name, and we give Him a shape, and have a relationship with Him, where you are constantly offering your best? Wouldn't life be much easier? To summarize, these are the 5 principles we can extract from this verse. 1. Being aware of our real nature. The self in Sanskrit, Vedanta, the Atman, our divinity. Make it a point to lead a life centered in the Spirit. To lead a meaningful life. Make it a point. Otherwise, you have no life. Meaning, we usually live for some kind of goal we want to achieve. We run after something, and our experience is once we get that, whatever we are looking for, then what? It's never enough. What if you get hold of something that is meaningful and will make you feel tranquil, peaceful, free? Number 2, dedicate every action to the Lord. You know what the Lord is. By invoking the doer-giver relationship. You give your best, you accept what comes. It's usually good if you give your best, I tell you. But be open. Number 3, keep all expectations away from the mind. Don't expect anything. Just keep working, keep doing. Plan if you must. But when it comes to do or doing, don't expect. Don't look at the watch all the time. Just do. Give your best. That's the secret for efficiency. Number 4, I am neither the owner nor the controller. I am here to make use of the gifts coming from the Lord. I am here to contribute. I am here to give. Number 5, have the courage, the strength to accept the fruits of our own karma, which are the gifts of the Lord. If we follow these 5 principles or injunctions, we are sure to lead a life in peace and tranquility, which is essential to constantly stay inspired and connected to the source, because we are not alone here. We are a whole. Mother, to realize God, to turn that God into a reality, we have to remain immersed in His contemplation. Eventually, we will start feeling some kind of satisfaction within, if we keep practicing, and we won't work anymore. Listen, we won't work anymore. Everyone must work in the universe. Only those who are perfectly satisfied with the self, whose desires do not go beyond the self, whose mind never strays out of the self, to whom the self is all in all, those do not work. The rest must work. Thank you. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, that outer world is Purna, full of divine consciousness. This inner world is also Purna, full of divine consciousness. From Purna comes Purna. From fullness of divine consciousness, the world is manifested. Taking Purna from Purna, Purna indeed remains, because divine consciousness is non-dual and infinite. Om, peace, peace, peace be to all. Thank you.